The thing about CPAs and accounting and finance is like it literally happens everywhere. Everybody in the world, every company in the world has to consider finances.
I think the biggest misconception is that we're a bunch of semi-retired bean counters chained to our desks, and it doesn't have to be that way at all.
People think this is just the type of job where you sit in the basement and run those calculations, but the reality is to do it the right way, you really have to interact with the clients. From that perspective, it's also really rewarding.
I would use the word like a financial architect of sorts, to help create the strategy for a person, a company. For example, I work with content creators and actors and musicians and choreographers. You have a deal on the table right now. What's the best way to go about it?
I have to take care of anything that comes up. So everything from team member management to hiring new team members to developing team members to managing the process of the workflow that comes into the office, managing clients. It's a lot of fun because I would say that no day is really the same.
I'm essentially responsible for anything relating to finance and accounting for the company, past, present, and future. So I feel like I'm not only looking at reviewing the books once they're closed and everything on that end, but then looking into the future and getting into the financial planning and analysis.
I'm the former commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service, very proud to have worked with the Internal Revenue Service for 5 years from 2018 to 2022. And I am now back to practicing tax law. I represent taxpayers who have disputes with the government. I provide tax advice, kind of all things tax, if you will. And there's a blend between tax lawyers, tax accountants, CPAs, enrolled agents, and others.
I am the Director of Administration and Finance for Alameda County Public Health. So that means that in addition to the more traditional areas that you might expect, such as working with developing our budgets and really being strategic about planning and development that goes into using those funds for the people of Alameda County.
When you talk numbers to them, it goes over their head, and you basically have to translate that to them. You're a translator, you're a storyteller, you're the editor of it, making sure that everything's recorded properly, things are, being presented in the proper way.
So a CFO, to me, is a co-pilot of a company. Every single decision that flows through the company and the strategic direction of the company goes through the CFO because everything has a monetary impact.
How does the company win? Finance supports a lot of that. It is really a profession where you are critically thinking and you are critically trying to help either your client or if you are like me, I'm inside of a company, you're trying to help them look at business decisions that they have to make with a financial lens.
So my name is Christine Ermatinger. I work for Ernst & Young, or EY for short. I am a partner in our cybersecurity practice within our consulting arm. So most people know EY for auditing and tax, but we do have a very large consulting arm, and part of that is helping our clients figure out how to respond to cyber threats.
I'm Michael Spindler, and I'm a Senior Managing Director at B. Riley Advisory Services. I was Johnny Depp's forensic accountant. It became somewhat of the trial of the century. Forensic just generally means having to do with courts of law. So what I will do is I will analyze business issues and disputes. It's a little bit more investigative than typical accounting work.
I don't do real accounting. I don't close books. I don't do depreciation entries. I don't do any of the traditional things that you think about when you think about accountants. Primarily, I specialize in family law forensic accounting. It's a lot of sorting through the papers, analyzing cash flow, analyzing who spent what during the marriage, how it got spent, putting all those pieces of the puzzle together. But I just think in general, what was surprising was how much I liked it.
Anytime you're hearing about accountants, it's like, well, you'll always have a job and you'll always get paid and blah, 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 blah. But it was never like, oh, you'll have fun doing that. Oh, I can really see you doing that. Like, man, you'll have a great time. You hear that when you think of sports. You hear that when you think of, media and entertainment. Yes, it is a stable job, 100%. But that's beside the point.
Oh, no. If you're doing business management right, you should never be bored. I'm a partner in the business management group. I work with businesses, clients, basically as an outsourced CFO or controller. And we typically do the accounting and handle the back office functions for our clients. I mean, there's so much stuff going on, and we've got to try and make sense of chaos.
CPAs are at the core of everything that happens in sort of the business community. And it's, to me, the business communities are what make this country great.
I think the reality of being a CPA is that there's a lot of versatility.
So that's a surprise, and as a CPA, I don't think you necessarily think that you can, do other things. So even if you like to paint and stuff, like other things that you have in your life that you're maybe passionate about or you have talent for, you can really apply that with your CPA.
You can start off as a CPA or as an accountant to get into the place that you want to do and want to be, and then you can switch, but at least you have that knowledge of how to run a business, how to consider your finances and everything like that.
There's just so much opportunity to shatter the mold of what CPAs once were, and I feel like I've seen that already dramatically over the course of my career.
It's a great profession to be in. There's so many things you could do with it.
I think that if you come and you're really only focused on the numbers, you lose your audience.
I have met the most fascinating people. I've done the most fascinating things that have not had anything to do with the debit or credit at all. Every business, every industry needs that financial person.
It's very versatile. And accounting has taken me to 4 different continents in this world. So I've worked everywhere but Antarctica and Africa. But what's taken me on all these global experiences that are really exciting is my background in accounting. It's needed everywhere.